So in my mind, VRPs really sit at the confluence of two really important trends at the moment: open banking and the rise of real-time payment rails. And what VRPs do is take those two really important trends happening around the world, not just here in the UK, and adds the recurring payment spin to them. And so what this really allows businesses and payers to do is take forward what they already have with direct debit, a really nice, easy way to collect recurring payments, but adds that instant verification, instant confirmation, and really fast settlement to it.
VRP can be an alternative to all the established payment methods. So can be an alternative not just for direct debit, but also for standing order, also for the like of card payments, card on file. So I think the way you describe is correct, but I think opportunity-wise is probably broader than just direct debit. So that's why we are, as a bank, we are quite excited in terms of what opportunity VRP can unlock. How we split the journey in different pieces. So the first one is setting up a VRP. So every one of us has a direct debit with, utility company, and to do that we have to, ring a call center, share our personal information with a stranger that can use those information for any reason. So with VRP, the beauty of VRP is setting up by yourself, so without sharing your data with a stranger, in just a matter of 5-6 clicks. So 15-20 seconds you can set up a VRP. So I think setting up is a key USP of the proposition. Once the VRP is set up, so doing a payment again is also another USP, because think about using VRP for e-commerce. You can fill your basket, click pay, and the payment is going to happen. So we'll deliver a sort of one-click payment experience. And I think the last bit for me in terms of how the proposition works, another cool element of the proposition is the flexibility and cancellation. So every one of us, I think, when we have to cancel a direct debit, we have probably to spend half an hour on the phone. With VRP, you can do everything your mobile app. One click and you can cancel. So I think altogether, to me, those are the key USP of this proposition.
Spoke about the benefits it might have over direct debit, but just think about the number of card on file transactions people have at the moment. I have no idea who has my card details, what's on file, how often they're being billed. I might have signed up for annual payment plans for stuff years ago that just comes out every year. There's literally no way that I could see what they are. And I think VRP represents a step change in that, where I could be able to log in, view what's about to be billed, view who has access, view who has the right to collect payment from my account in real time.
And security.
Yeah.
And security. I think that's for what I see the key USP is around security, right? I mean, people are increasingly giving online and buying online, but there's still some resistance in some sectors, and anything that we can do from a technology point of view to kind of build that confidence and give confidence, I think is definitely a good thing. Let me talk from a donor point of view. Security is a big thing, but also from a donor point of view, the flexibility, being able to, as you mentioned, being able to just kind of see exactly what it is that you're giving and being able to control that, vary that, and etc. I think that control is really important.
And to build on what you're saying, I think the element of control is more and more important considering the current economic environment, so the higher cost of living. So having the ability to cut the non-necessary spending just with one click is quite important. If I remember correctly, there have been some study about customer being aware of their standing order of a direct debit, and I think most of the customers are not aware of 2/3 of their standing order. So I think having something like this can be quite powerful also to, on a social point of view, optimizing the financial of families and individuals.
When we speak to users, customers, payers quite a lot, and there's a few things that always come out, right? When we speak to them, particularly about the cost of living crisis at the moment, more than half of them say that they would be really up for using a technology that enabled them to move money from one account into a savings account or into an investment account, or pay down debt really quickly in real time, that they could see exactly what they were spending, where and how. And so I think in times like these, VRPs can provide a really, really kind of great impetus to help people pay down debt and save. But as well, when we talk to payers around the country and ask them, what do you actually care about when it comes to making a payment, making a donation? By and large, the two things that come out a lot are I really want ease of use and convenience, and I want things to be secure when I'm actually making the payment. In fact, 69% of payers would actually abandon a checkout process if it was too complicated, and 81% would abandon a checkout process if it looked like security was lax in some way. And I think what's really interesting about VRPs from the consumer perspective is that it kind of solves for both of those things, right? It creates this really nice Goldilocks zone between ease of use and convenience and security. Because if you have too much convenience, you have no security. If you have too much security, you don't have any convenience.
Yeah.
And I think VRPs are in that Goldilocks zone.
It's a nice trade-off.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah. From our point of view, reduces our admin. As a charity, our admin comes out of donors' funds, as it were. So whatever we can do to minimise what we take out of donors' funds is always going to be a good thing. And I think this is definitely a step in the right direction where that's concerned as well. But even from our point of view of flexibility as well, I think that's really, really important. And the immediacy of the payment, from a cash flow point of view, that's, for any organisation, that's incredibly important.
The fact that you can have the money in real time
Yep.
instead of waiting 48 hours
Yep.
is important for
Yep.
your cash flow management. I think also that's probably more, definitely also for a charity point of view, is the fact that VRP is a payment method that requires less intermediation,
Yeah.
and therefore less intermediation means can be a cheaper payment option. And I guess, as we touched this before, UX, but again, if I think being a customer focused, having a one-click payment experience, that's also quite important, because
Yeah.
we want to make the journey the less complicated for a customer. The reason of our partnership is, one, we strongly believe in this product. Two, we think this product can be the future for our payment industry. And three, we think that the best way to accelerate the launch of a product that will require other banks to join is to demonstrate practically via live use cases, that this can work and can work well. So I think those are pretty much the key pillars that have pushed us to sign a deal with you guys.
Certainly think from a GoCardless perspective, absolutely agree with all those things, right? The idea is, let's show payers, donors, what's possible and what that experience looks like. Let's show other charities, other businesses and merchants what this would look like for them and that it is possible. And then let's show other banks who necessarily aren't quite there yet that the world is right there and the opportunity is there, and there's a real live pilot that can show exactly what this would look like.
I think one of the biggest things for us as a sector is the adoption of new technologies, because that ultimately drives user behaviour. And if we're all about providing the best donating experience, then we've got to be in position for providing, position for that adoption of those technologies, as it were. So that's probably the main thing. But ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, also there's things around flexibility and security and all of those things that we've also spoken about. But I think ultimately for us, it just helps us to drive our impact as an organisation. We're about school meals in the developing world. So whatever it is that we can do to increase that impact, increase our deliverability is always going to be a good thing. And I think these technologies such as this and others as well, it enables us to drive that impact.
So maybe a really good way that people can actually get into this and see the value of the process and the user experience is to try out the pilot that we created. And so they can go to GoCardless.com, donate a recurring payment to Charity Right, and as long as they've got a NatWest or Royal Bank of Scotland account, they'll be able to do that in a really easy, seamless way. So let's take a look at that now.
you.